A leak was the beginning of it all. A video that was not meant for public viewing. A video that created a battleground throughout the whole love and hip-hop Atlanta set. At the heart of it all were Rasheeda and Jasmine, two women whose tangled and messy pasts could be ignited by a single secret from Kirk's past. That video, which purportedly showed Kirk in a scenario that may ruin all Rasheeda believes she knew, went viral and caused more than just a rift in their marriage. Like wildfire, it tore through the cast. Everyone on set had seen it in a matter of hours. Whispers were circulating, phones were ringing, and by the time Rasheeda arrived for filming, the damage had already been done. Producers reportedly attempted to defuse the situation, but Rasheeda didn't hear them. When she barged in, the cameras were rolling. With eyes fixed on Jasmine, her voice had already risen. "Didn't you have something to do with this?" she yelled. What took place after that? Absolute anarchy. Jasmine attempted to refute it, but Rasheeda didn't believe a word. Members of the crew attempted to step in, but the tension quickly broke out. Screaming replaced shouting. By the time security arrived, individuals were reporting that they had never seen Rasheeda so furious. Not off, not on camera. However, this is something. There may be more to that released video than meets the eye. Some refer to it as retaliation. Some claim it's phony. Additionally, some sources are speculating that someone considerably closer to Kirk rather than Jasmine was the source of the actual leak. We're dissecting everything tonight. Not only did what transpired on set that day alter a marriage, but the footage, the consequences, and the behind-the-scenes drama almost stopped production. It may have completely altered hip-hop and love's future. Atlanta. This one gets unpleasant, so stay tuned. Over the years, there have been some crazy explosions in Atlanta's hip-hop scene. But nothing prepared fans for the tempest that broke out when one video surfaced and shocked the cast of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Three well-known names stood in the middle of the mayhem. The entrepreneur queen, Rasheeda, has battled to defend her marriage and brand. Jasmine Washington and Kirk Frost, the man whose errors have already made headlines 12 times, the one person whose name has the power to transform a peaceful day on set into a combat zone. See how this event turned into one of the most talked about events in LHATL history. You have to go all the way back to the beginning, when Jasmine first entered the picture and Kirk and Rasheeda were still struggling to mend their marriage. Whispers, half-truths, and years of mistrust never truly vanished. Simmering beneath the surface, they awaited the correct spark. And that spark appeared in the shape of an enigmatic footage and purportedly private video connected to Kirk that somehow went online after slipping between the cracks. The leak quickly spread. It appeared on fan forums, group chats, and gossip blogs in a matter of hours. Instagram was inundated with screenshots and captions that said, "This can't be real. Kirk caught again. We're present everywhere. It couldn't have come at a worse time." The new season's cast was in the middle of production. Alliances are brittle and tensions are already high. That week, producers had hardly managed to keep minor disputes under control. They now faced a bomb that no one could neutralize. Crew members described the atmosphere as radioactive behind the scenes. At first, Rasheeda was said to be excessively quiet. Friends reported she didn't cry or scream. Her look was unreadable as she repeatedly watched that footage. However, her stillness vanished when she eventually arrived on set. Meanwhile, Jasmine denied having any knowledge of the leak. However, her composed manner did not strengthen her argument. Online fans conjectured that she was either the source or engaged in some way, citing cryptic messages she had made days earlier with lyrics about retaliation and the revelation of the truth. It made her an immediate target, whether it was a coincidence or a confession. Then came the day when it all came to a head. As the cast assembled for what was meant to be a typical shoot scenario about the group resolving old conflicts, cameras rolled. Instead, Rasheeda marched in with every ounce of rage she'd been holding in for years. Later, crew members claimed to be able to sense the shift of energy. Before she even got to the table, her voice broke through the commotion. She locked eyes with Jasmine and delivered the words everyone knew were coming. "Didn't you have something to do with this?" Jasmine froze. Raising his hands, Kirk attempted to intervene, but Rasheeda ignored him. She said, "You promised me I could trust you, and now this. You allowed this to occur." "Don't put that on me," Jasmine said, arguing she had nothing to do with it. "I'm not the one still hiding things," she continued. Her voice cracked equally between anguish and wrath. still concealing everything with that one line: "Light the room on fire." The fight was real, the cameras were rolling, and the world was about to witness it all. For fans, it was déjà vu. Rasheeda had previously supported Kirk through scandal, but this time felt different. The humiliation, suspicion, and persistent ghosts from the past had finally caught up. Castmates scrambled to separate them before security intervened. Producers shouted to cut cameras, but it was too late. A crew assistant claimed that someone from production had seen a version of the clip weeks earlier, but didn't think it would surface. Others suggested a jealous ex-associate of Kirk's might have been involved. No one could prove anything. Those who had previously doubted Jasmine began questioning whether she was telling the truth this time. Was the video real? Was it old, or was someone purposefully setting them all up? Behind closed doors, whispers grew darker. However, everyone had an opinion, and each opinion fueled the flames. Social media became a battlefield, with Team Rasheeda posting messages of support and calling her the queen who deserves peace. Team Jasmine accusing producers of using her name for ratings, and Team Kirk mostly remaining silent as his account was inundated with comments demanding answers. Rasheeda maintained a fierce public composure throughout it all, but insiders claimed that the betrayal went deeper than anyone realized. She was no longer just fighting for her marriage. She was fighting for her dignity every time someone told her to leave years ago. Now that millions of people were watching and speculating, she had no choice but to face it head on. None of them realized that this wasn't just about an exposed video or one angry confrontation. It was about power, reputation, and who controlled the narrative. Because in Atlanta's perception is everything in the close-knit hip-hop scene, and one leak can change careers overnight. By the end of that week, the clip had been removed from most major platforms, replaced by official statements from VH1 and ambiguous apologies from Kirk's team. But the damage was irreversible. Cast members began taking sides, production schedules changed, and what had been a season about healing had turned into the most explosive storyline in Atlanta's history of love and hip-hop. As for Rasheeda, the queen had been publicly humiliated, but she was about to remind everyone that she had survived worse. The next morning, Atlanta woke up to the kind of chaos that could only come from love and hip-hop. The blogs had it first, with clips from the on-set meltdown already all over the place. It wasn't just another argument. It was war. Because if you come for Rasheeda's peace, she's coming for your entire legacy. By sunrise, #Rhea vs. Jasmine was trending on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at the same time. The drama wasn't contained to social media. It spread like smoke backstage, with castmates picking sides before even hearing the truth. Spice posted a cryptic story that said, "You reap what you baby, sow." Carly Red wrote, "Someone better tell the truth before it gets worse," on the comments section of a fan page. That same morning, Jock went live and said, "Man, this right here, this one different," while shaking his head. And it was because, as everyone was attempting to determine who had leaked Kirk's video, a fresh piece of evidence emerged that completely changed the course of events. According to a person close to production, the leaked clip which showed Kirk in what appeared to be a compromising situation did not originate from Jasmine's phone at all. It came from within. Someone with access to the show's files allegedly stole it, altered it, and leaked it during a late-night upload session. At first, it sounded like the cast had gathered at a downtown Atlanta restaurant to film a group scene. Something lighthearted, a girls' brunch. But Rasheeda showed up late, wearing black shades and giving off the impression that she was done playing nice. The moment Kendra entered, Rasheeda got up, folded her arms, and said loudly enough for the cameras to record it, "Why don't you tell the group how that video got out?" The whole table fell silent. Kendra blinked, perplexed. "What video?" she asked, feigning ignorance. But Rasheeda wasn't buying the act. She yelled back, "Damn, well, what I'm talking about. You were mad at me. You were jealous. And now you want to destroy my family." Jasmine, who was seated on the other side of the table, appeared shocked that she wasn't the focus for once. Spice grinned and leaned in to say, "Chili, this is getting spicy." At last, Kendra stood up, her voice shaking but furious. "I don't know who told you that, but they're lying. I'm not leaking anything about your husband. I have my own issues." At that point, Rasheeda took out her phone and a blurry screenshot of an email with the subject line "Kirk Frost footage." Upload approval from an address associated with Kendra's PR assistant appeared on the screen. The room erupted in gasps, stood up in an attempt to defuse the situation, but Rasheeda refused to back down. "You think I'm stupid? You think I don't know what betrayal looks like?" she asked. "Every time I've seen this film, someone poses as a friend at the beginning." Chairs screeched, voices clashed, and the argument erupted. Spice leaped up to stop Rasheeda as security poured in. Jock and Kendra were yelling over each other, and by the following day, the unfinished episode had become legendary. Fans were pleading for the uncut footage, and rumors circulated that VH1 executives were debating whether to air the confrontation at all out of concern that it might go too far. By then, the damage was done, the word was out, and Rasheeda had accused Kendra of ruining her marriage. Atlanta's close-knit hip-hop community would never be the same. Meanwhile, Jasmine tried to keep quiet, but it didn't work. When the episode teaser leaked, of course it did. Fans noticed something odd. Jasmine appeared more anxious than relieved during the fight. She kept looking at her phone, avoiding eye contact, as if she knew something the others didn't. Some fans even claimed that she mouthed the words, "I told you not to do it." A 10-second clip of the original video was posted by an anonymous account, and it wasn't explicit. The theories went crazy. Was Jasmine really covering for Kendra? Were they both involved? Or was this whole thing a setup, a twisted PR stunt orchestrated by someone higher up? It was just Kirk at a studio party speaking to a woman who looked eerily like Jasmine. But the voice in the background was Bambi's, not Jasmine's. If Bambi was involved, it meant that this was more than just a betrayal between couples. It was an all-out civil war inside the love and hip-hop universe. Bambi had her own grudges, mostly against Rasheeda and Spice, who had both insulted her in recent interviews and leaked something that messy could have been her ultimate retaliation for the first time in years. In the midst of all of this, Rasheeda posted a mysterious caption that sent shivers down social media. "I've lost friends, trust, and peace. But one thing I'll never lose again is my voice." Watch the next episode. You'll see everything. Group chats were leaked. Text messages were screenshotted and posted on fan pages, and even Mona Scott, the show's executive producer, began trending after fans accused her of creating chaos for ratings. In less than a day, that one post received over 1 million likes, and the next episode trailer delivered on her promise. It began with Rasheeda wiping away tears, her voice trembling as she said, "They wanted to destroy me, but they forgot who I am." Then, flashes of shouting, tears, and bleeped-out words filled the screen, followed by Kirk slamming his phone. The twist was that the Queen of Second Chances was done playing peacemaker, and new evidence suggested that not only Kendra, but possibly Bambi and Jasmine were also involved in the scandal. Jasmine stormed off set, Spice yelled at someone off dash camera, and it ended with a haunting soundbite for Rasheeda herself. "This time, I'm not forgiving nobody." The calm after the storm didn't last long because the following week, the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta set turned into a war zone once more. Word had spread that producers were going to air the fight between Rasheeda and Kendra exactly as it happened, unedited, which meant every accusation, every scream, and every word about Kirk's secret video. The entire cast knew that the next confrontation wouldn't just be a fight, but a reckoning. Because forgiveness has an expiration date on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, would make a big impact on the public. By this point, social media was ablaze, with hashtags like #TeamRasheeda, #JusticeForKendra, and #JasMinus dominating Twitter. Fan edits, reaction, TikToks, and fake leaked audio flooding every part of the internet. However, nobody was prepared for what would happen next. Because just hours before the episode aired, an unidentified Instagram account posted something that sent the entire ATL music scene into a meltdown. A new video. The caption said, "Since they like to lie to each other, here's the truth." It was a full 25-second movie, not a screenshot or rumor. This was shot 2 months ago. You do the math. The video showed a dimly lit studio session with Kirk sitting next to a woman with long black hair, laughing, and holding her hand. The camera panned just enough to briefly get her face. It wasn't Jasmine. The internet went crazy as bloggers tried to figure out who the mystery woman was. Some claimed she was a model Kirk had been spotted with at a private event months ago, while others swore she was a backup dancer from a Spice performance. If the footage was authentic, it meant the so-called leaked video that started this entire feud wasn't a setup by Kendra or Jasmine. Rasheeda's response was instantaneous. That evening, she went live on Instagram, clearly enraged. her voice calm but deadly. "Y'all playing games with my family," she said, looking directly into the camera. "Whoever keeps leaking this mess, you're going to regret it. As for this video, trust me, I know exactly who that is." When the time came for the truth to be revealed, her fans went crazy. Thousands of comments begged her to identify the woman, but Rasheeda just smiled, the kind of smile that promised retribution. Meanwhile, production was in disarray, with Monas God's crew reportedly stopping filming after crew members claimed when Bambi and Spice began yelling backstage. Security had to remove someone from the set. "It's all fake," Bambi yelled at the producers. "Y'all using us like chess pieces." Spice immediately clapped back, saying, "No, baby. You using yourself? Don't get mad when the queen takes the king." However, the real shock came when TM-style bloggers revealed receipts proving the woman in the new video wasn't random at all. She worked at Frost. As if that weren't enough, screenshots of late-night text messages between Kirk and the woman saved under the name surfaced. The messages said things like, "Don't worry, I'll handle Rasheeda and no one will ever know." Bistro was the restaurant that Kirk and Rasheeda co-owned. The betrayal was now more than just emotional. I swear, fans were taken aback. For an instant, even the following day of filming was chaotic as Rasheeda showed up at Frost Bistro for a scheduled sit-down scene with Kirk. Instead of making amends, she brought printouts, text messages, screenshots, receipts, and cameras captured the moment she slammed the folder on the table and said, "So, you want to tell me who T is before I do it for you? It's not what it looks like. She worked for us. I was helping her with something personal," he said at the line that turned every viewer's stomach. Kirk appeared cornered and tried to dismiss it by calling it an old drama, but Rasheeda wasn't having it. "Don't lie to me again," she said, voice trembling. "You said you learned. You said you changed." The whole crew halted, and Rasheeda gave a brief, bitter laugh. "Personal? You were helping her with something personal?" At 2 in the morning, holding hands, Kirk stood irritated. "You don't know the full story," Rasheeda shot back. "Because you always make sure I learn through a leak whenever I try to find out." At that point, producers cut cameras. But one of the PA allegedly kept recording on their phone. And that's how a new unofficial clip found its way online days later. Sheeda stormed out, yelling, "You shame me. Every damn season." In just one day, the video received 1 million views, but it wasn't over. Because Jasmine shared a snapshot that same evening with the comment, "It's always the ones closest to you," which completely changed the story.